Your ideas about domestic servants in the 18th century are probably wrong. Popular public perception about the experience of domestic service is often formed from the conduct literature that was written over the course of the 18th century, which outlined idealised versions of what a servant should be. But servants were real people, and they often did not meet these expectations or actively behaved to break their household rules. It is in this misbehaviour we often see glimpses of the personality of servants, and we see them as real people instead of shadowy figures at the edges of early modern society. So today I want to talk about the servants who broke the rules. Hi, my name is Bose. I have an MA in Early Modern English History, and on this channel we talk about the history you don't learn about in school. The lives of servants are often obscured in the historical record. However, servants who misbehaved are frequently noted in their master or mistress's personal records, diaries, or letters. However, perhaps the people who noted these misbehaviours most are household stewards. Stewards were at the top of the servant hierarchy, making them responsible for all the servants beneath them. And there are many examples of stewards who reported to their master and mistress of servant misconduct. Today's examples of servants behaving badly will be largely drawn from these records of stewards on country estates. That being said, we will now move on to the maidservant whose foul mouth got them fired. In 1758, Sir John Crimston was informed by his household steward, Michael Newlove, of a maidservant, whose name is not noted in the record, but was causing mayhem in his household. Reportedly, this maidservant cursed and swore and refused to do as she was told, causing much disruption in the household. We often don't think of people in the past swearing and cursing, but they certainly did. However, a maidservant certainly could not get away with swearing on a gentleman's country estate, and the steward quickly dismissed her. Our second servant appears in the records of Lady Rockingham. Again, no name is given to this servant, only his position as a footman is recorded. In 1775, Lady Rockingham reports the footman had to be discharged because of his strange behaviour. This behaviour included staying out all day and night as late as 11 o'clock at night at the local alehouse, where he supposedly had been gambling. Lady Rockingham emphasises that the footman did all of this without the household's knowledge. This footman's behaviour combined two of the 18th century's employers' greatest fear of their servants' character: drunkenness and deceitfulness. A drunken servant was greatly frowned upon by their employer, because their inebriated state reflected badly on the employer's status, especially if they were out wandering the streets drunk, and reflected poorly on the household's reputation. Deceitfulness was a general anxiety that came with giving a stranger access to all areas of a person's house and personal life, and it's something that conduct literature greatly agonises over in the 18th century. This footman's ability to combine drunkenness and deceitfulness led to his immediate dismissal by Lady Rockingham. Our next servant is once again brought to us through the records of the household steward. In 1726, household steward John Potts recorded to his master, Sir Marmaduke Constable, about the nature of the new housekeeper. Potts was rather perplexed about what exactly the housekeeper should be doing. Potts complains that he never saw the housekeeper do much work besides sewing and making excessive quantities of jam. It is possible that Potts was not actually familiar with what work the housekeeper had been assigned, because in the early 18th century, only the wealthiest households in the country had housekeepers, and it is possible that he had just never worked alongside one before. However, Potts' chief complaint to his master is that the housekeeper was never seen before 7 in the morning. This would have been almost entirely alien behaviour to Potts, as female servants on country estates could be expected to rise between 4 and 5 in the morning, and unfortunately for the kitchen maids, it could be as early as 3 in order to light the ranges. It is unclear whether or not Potts's words to his master led to this housekeeper's dismissal. However, it should be noted, the 18th century employers greatly frowned upon any ideas of idleness, so this report may well have been enough to get the housekeeper fired. So that was some examples of servants behaving badly in the 18th century. I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and make sure you come back next week for some really random history that you don't learn about in school. That's all for now. Bye!